Avoidants think they're escaping you, believing the breakup is a release. But they don't know the crushing weight of your silence. They're running into an empty room that echoes with your absence. This silence changes everything they thought they knew about control. 87% of avoidant exes don't find peace. They find panic and regret. Your silence forces them to confront the one thing they've spent their lives avoiding: themselves. What they never accounted for was your complete detachment. You become the mirror they cannot escape. This realization hits them like a tidal wave, pulling them under. It's the sound of you choosing yourself, unsettling them the most. They find they were the ones who brought the bars with them. The initial moments after the breakup feel like a victory lap. They breathe a sigh of relief, feeling light and free. They convince themselves that they've successfully navigated a difficult situation and reclaimed their autonomy. They're running from the ghost of the relationship, celebrating an escape. The solitude that once felt like a sanctuary starts to feel like a cell. The silence is heavy, filled with unsaid things. When the message never comes, the void begins to make itself known. When you go silent, you cut that feedback loop. They are just alone. The freedom they celebrated starts to feel like a profound and terrifying isolation. They assumed you would break. Your silence demonstrates a strength they did not anticipate. This transforms their illusion of escape into the cold, hard reality of the void. They are now face to face with the consequences of their own fear. You possess a psychological trigger that you were likely unaware of during the entire relationship. For an avoidant, their entire relational strategy is built around managing distance. When you go silent, you refuse to dance. This act of profound self-possession completely short-circuits their internal wiring. This is the trigger. It communicates that your emotional world does not revolve around them. The avoidant's greatest fear is not intimacy itself, but the loss of self within it. When you disappear, you inadvertently activate this deeper, unexamined fear. They pushed you away to prove they could survive without you, only to be terrified when you let them. Your silence creates a vacuum, and their mind rushes to fill it with doubt, regret, and a dawning, dreadful awareness of their loss. In doing so, you held up a mirror, and for the first time, they're forced to look at their own reflection. The power you hold is in what you don't do. It's found in the stillness, in the quiet dignity of your retreat. This absence is a powerful presence in their life. It's the empty space at the dinner table, the silence in the car. This power is about emotional sovereignty. You are taking back control. By going silent, you redirect energy back into yourself. This is where you begin to detach and they begin to spiral. Your growth becomes a direct contrast to their stagnation. Your resilience is a direct challenge to their sense of importance and control. It makes the loss permanent. You are simply living your life, showing them what life is like without you. The avoidant mindset is driven by two opposing fears: the fear of engulfment, of losing their independence. It feels like suffocation. This compels them to create distance. Beneath this lies a deeper terror, the fear of ultimate abandonment, the buried belief that they are fundamentally unlovable. So they create a self-fulfilling prophecy. They push you away first to avoid the pain of being pushed away later. In their desperate attempt to avoid being engulfed, they create the very conditions for abandonment. It is a lonely, self-defeating cycle. To manage their overwhelming fear, avoidants develop a sophisticated set of tools. These are known as deactivation strategies. They are unconscious maneuvers designed to suppress attachment feelings and create emotional distance. You have seen them all: the sudden emotional withdrawal after a moment of closeness, the nitpicking and fault-finding, focusing on your minor flaws to justify their need for space. They might create phantom obsessions with work, hobbies, or friends, using them as a shield against intimacy. They might compare you unfavorably to an idealized ex or a fantasy partner, creating an impossible standard that you can never meet. These are not random behaviors. They are calculated subconscious tactics. Another powerful tool in their kit is emotional suppression. They learn to numb their own feelings. They convince themselves they are not bothered. They are logical. They are rational. They might dismiss your emotions as overly dramatic or needy because acknowledging your feelings would force them to acknowledge their own. This is why arguments with them feel so impossible. You are speaking the language of emotion, and they are responding with the cold, hard logic of disconnection. They are not trying to resolve the conflict. They are trying to shut it down. They are trying to deactivate the entire emotional system before it overloads them. They also use cognitive distancing. This is the art of being physically present but mentally and emotionally absent. They will be sitting right next to you, but their mind is a million miles away. They will listen to your words but not hear your meaning. They will look at you but not truly see you. This creates a painful and confusing dynamic for you. You feel their absence even when they are in the room. It is a subtle but powerful form of rejection, designed to keep you at arm's length without having to overtly push you away. It is a way of saying, you can have my body, but you cannot have my mind or my heart. These deactivation strategies are the bedrock of their self-protection. They are deeply ingrained habits, often learned in childhood as a way to cope with unreliable or emotionally unavailable caregivers. They learned early on that needing someone was unsafe, so they taught themselves not to need anyone at all. When you go silent after the breakup, you remove the target for these strategies. There is no one to nitpick. There is no one to withdraw from. There is no one to mentally check out on. Their entire toolkit becomes obsolete. They are left alone with the very feelings they have spent a lifetime trying to deactivate, and it is utterly terrifying for them. Enjoyed this video? Here's how to level up with Ace Wisdom. Drop a like if this hit home. It helps more people find the truth they need to hear. Subscribe if you're ready to outgrow the old version of yourself. We break down emotional patterns, psychology, and real power moves after heartbreak. If you're serious about healing, detaching, and becoming untouchable, this is your space. Turn on all notifications so you never miss when a new video drops. Want deeper insights, plus exclusive content? Join the channel membership, Spark of Wisdom, Wisdom Warrior, or step it up a notch by becoming an Ace of Aces member. The link is in the video description. Know someone who needs this message? Share this video with a friend who's stuck, confused, or ready to rise. You could be the reason they finally let go and step up. Immediately following the breakup, the avoidant follows a predictable script. This is the relief phase. A powerful wave of calm washes over them. The pressure is finally off. The constant low-grade anxiety they felt in the relationship has dissipated. They can breathe again. This feeling is intoxicating. It serves as immediate and powerful confirmation that they made the right decision. They will tell themselves, and anyone who will listen, that they feel so much better. They feel free. They feel like themselves again. This initial euphoria is a crucial part of their process. It is a defense mechanism that protects them from the immediate pain of the loss. During this phase, they actively reinforce their decision. They will focus exclusively on the negative aspects of the relationship. They will mentally list all the times they felt suffocated, all the arguments, all the moments of perceived pressure. This is not to be cruel. It is a survival tactic. They are building a case to justify their actions and to keep the more painful, positive memories at bay. They might jump into a flurry of activity, going out with friends they neglected, diving headfirst into a new project, or even starting a superficial new fling. anything to maintain the forward momentum and avoid the stillness where grief might find them. They expect you to be falling apart. In their mind, you were the needy one, the one who was more invested. They anticipate desperate texts, angry voicemails, or pleas to reconsider. When these things do not arrive, it registers as a minor anomaly at first, but it does not disrupt their relief. They might even feel a sense of pity for you, mixed with a smug satisfaction that they are the stronger one. They see your presumed pain as further evidence that the relationship was unhealthy and that they were right to end it. They are living in a carefully constructed bubble of self-justification, floating on a temporary high of perceived freedom. But this relief is an illusion. It is a short-term anesthetic, not a long-term cure. It is based on the false premise that you were the source of their anxiety. They have successfully escaped the situation, but they have not escaped themselves. The core issues, the deep-seated fears that drove them to deactivate and withdraw, are still there, packed neatly in their luggage. The relief phase is simply the calm before the storm. It is the quiet inhale before the gut-wrenching realization that the freedom they craved feels an awful lot like a desolate, empty void. Their script has an ending they did not write, and the next act is about to begin. The initial high of relief cannot last forever. It's a chemical reaction that eventually fades, and what is left is a quiet, unsettling reality. The cracks in their armor begin to show. It starts subtly. A song on the radio reminds them of you. They drive past a restaurant you used to love. A mutual friend mentions your name. These small moments are like pebbles tossed into the still waters of their denial. The ripples spread. The positive memories they so carefully suppressed start to seep through the cracks. They remember a private joke, the way you looked at them, a moment of genuine connection. And for the first time, they feel a pang of something other than relief. This feeling is confusing for them. It does not fit the narrative they have constructed. The narrative says they are better off without you. The narrative says the relationship was the problem. But this emerging feeling, this whisper of nostalgia and loss, suggests something different. They start to feel a low-level hum of unease. The silence from your end, which they initially interpreted as weakness or expected drama, now starts to feel different. It feels intentional. It feels strong. It feels like you are moving on. This thought is profoundly destabilizing. They were supposed to be the one who was fine, the one who was moving on with ease. The absence of your chase is what truly begins to dismantle their defenses. They subconsciously expected you to validate their importance by trying to win them back. Your silence does the opposite. It communicates that you accept their decision. It communicates that you can and will live without them. This is a massive blow to their ego. The avoidant, despite their push for independence, has a deep-seated need to feel wanted. Your dignified withdrawal from the dynamic starves them of this validation. They are left alone, and the loneliness that once felt like freedom now starts to feel like a consequence. The unease grows. They find themselves checking your social media, not out of care, but out of a need for information. They are looking for signs of your devastation to soothe their own growing anxiety. When they find signs of your happiness instead, a picture with friends, a post about a new hobby, it feels like a betrayal. How can you be okay when they are starting to feel so not okay? The cracks widen. The relief has fully evaporated, replaced by a confusing mixture of irritation, curiosity, and a growing, gnawing sense of dread. They are beginning to realize that they did not just end a relationship. They may have made a catastrophic mistake. The avoidant's internal monologue begins a dramatic rewrite. The confident voice justifying the breakup falters, replaced by doubt. The script they wrote no longer works. They start to romanticize the past, reinterpreting once annoying traits as caring. Their mind edits out the bad, highlighting the good, creating a new version of the relationship. This is a painful, disorienting process. They see a profound loneliness they themselves have authored. This rewriting is the beginning of a spiral. Your silence shows them you are not a waiting room. You have moved on. They are left staring at an empty hand, wondering how they lost. The initial relief has dissolved, leaving a stark quiet. This isn't the peaceful silence they craved. It's an echoing void. Before, your presence filled the space. Now, there is nothing. Your silence reflects their solitude. Every quiet moment confronts them with their choice. The freedom they wanted now feels empty and isolating. This echo chamber amplifies their doubts into insecurities. Their mind, starved of your input, begins to feed on itself. Your disappearance has torn their script to shreds, leaving them terrified. It's a narrative of your strength and their folly. Your silence suggests you were the stronger one all along. The spiral begins here, in this echo chamber. Weeks of silence set in, and the avoidant feels your absence like a phantom limb, aching, haunting, impossible to ignore. They realize the pain they tried to escape wasn't you, it was inside them all along, and now, with you gone, it's all they have left. Desperate for reassurance, the avoidant obsessively stalks your social media, hoping to see you miserable. But instead, they find you thriving. Each happy post is a blow to their ego, fueling regret and making them realize they're the one left behind, chasing your ghost online. The avoidant finally understands your silence means the breakup is real, permanent, not a pause. Panic sets in. They scramble to reconnect, not out of love, but to soothe their own fear of losing you forever. With you gone, the avoidant can no longer blame you for their anxiety. The emptiness is theirs alone. They're forced to confront the truth. The void they feared was always inside themselves, not in the relationship. Your silence isn't a tactic. It's your final answer, a clear sign you've moved on. This unspoken closure devastates them as they realize they're no longer the center of your world. By mirroring their emotional distance, your silence forces them to feel the coldness they once inflicted. For the first time, they see the pain they caused, and the reflection staring back is their own. Breakups can make you feel powerless, but ancient wisdom offers an anchor. Stoic philosopher Epictetus said we can control our response to external events. You can't control your ex, but you can control your silence and focus. By choosing silence, you protect your peace. This is Stoic strength, not suppressing emotions, but mastering them. Your power lies in mastering yourself. Focus on your dignity, healing, and future. Withdraw emotional feedback and reclaim your power. In most relationships with an avoidant partner, a clear dynamic emerges. There is a pursuer and a distancer. You were likely the pursuer, seeking connection, reassurance, and closeness. They were the distancer, creating space, withdrawing, and deflecting intimacy. This dynamic defined the relationship, and it likely defined the breakup. They left, and the expectation was that you would continue to pursue. You would chase them with texts, calls, and questions, reinforcing their role as the one who is wanted, the one who holds all the power. Your silence is the single most effective move to shatter this dynamic completely. When you stop pursuing, you create a vacuum. The energy of the entire system, which was flowing in one direction, comes to a screeching halt. The distancer, who is used to feeling the pressure of your pursuit, suddenly feels nothing. There is no resistance to push against. There is no one to run from. This abrupt change is honestly deeply unsettling. Without a pursuer, the distancer's role becomes meaningless. They are no longer defined by their ability to keep you at bay. They are just alone. This is when the roles begin to reverse. Their curiosity, fueled by anxiety and a bruised ego, begins to grow. Their mind starts to race. Why have you stopped? Have you met someone else? Did you ever even care as much as they thought you did? This internal questioning forces them out of their passive, distant role and into an active, investigative one. They start checking your social media. They might ask mutual friends about you. They are now the ones seeking information. They are the ones expending emotional energy trying to figure you out. Without even trying, you have flipped the script. You have become the mysterious, distant one whose thoughts are unknown. You have become the distancer. This transforms them into the pursuer. It might not be a direct pursuit at first. It will be subtle. A like on a social media post from months ago. A brief, meaningless text to see how you are. These are feelers. They are tentative steps out of their comfort zone, driven by a new and unfamiliar panic. They are now the ones trying to bridge the gap. The power dynamic has not just shifted, it has been completely inverted. And this is not because you played a game or used a clever tactic. It is because you chose to stop playing altogether and focused on your own worth. Your self-respect became the force that turned the entire table. The most devastating aspect of your silence for the avoidant ex is not the silence itself, but what it represents. It represents your healing. It is the sound of you getting better. While they are stuck in a cycle of confusion, regret, and rising panic, you are moving forward. Every day you do not contact them is another day you have invested in yourself. You are reconnecting with friends, rediscovering hobbies, finding joy in small things, and slowly but surely rebuilding your life on a foundation that does not include them. Your growth becomes a stark and painful contrast to their own stagnation. They expected you to be broken. Their ego needed you to be broken. Your devastation would have served as a comforting validation of their importance. It would have allowed them to feel a sense of pity and superiority, cushioning the blow of their own decision. But when they see or hear that you are not just surviving but thriving, it triggers a crisis for them. Your happiness without them is a direct contradiction of the story they told themselves, the story where they were the prize and life without them would be a lesser experience for you. Your success in moving on proves that narrative to be a complete fiction. This is why your healing is their crisis. It forces them to confront the true magnitude of their loss. They did not just lose a partner they could not handle, they lost a person who is strong, resilient, and capable of profound happiness. They see you becoming the person you were always meant to be, unburdened by the weight of their avoidance. This can trigger intense feelings of regret and a desperate sense of missing out. They are witnessing the what if in real time. What if they had not run away? What if they had been able to meet you where you were? Your growth highlights everything they have lost and everything they can no longer have. Your journey of healing is therefore the most powerful force at your disposal. It is not about showing off or making them jealous. It is about authentically reclaiming your life. But a side effect of this authentic journey is that it dismantles their entire defense system. They cannot rationalize away your happiness. They cannot blame you for their own misery. They are left with one inescapable conclusion: they made a terrible mistake. The sound of your healing is the sound of their world falling apart. It is the ultimate proof that the problem was never your love, but their inability to receive it. The initial unease has turned into true regret. This isn't about a bruised ego, it's the gut-wrenching realization they discarded someone of immense value. This regret is quiet, deep, and devastating. It's the moment they stop blaming and start mourning with tormenting clarity. They remember your kindness, laughter, and support with aching precision. This clarity is torture, illuminating their miscalculation. They are trapped in a prison of their own making. The regret fuels full-blown panic. This isn't just anxiety, it's a primal fear response. The avoidance framework is built on control. Your silence has demolished that pillar. They can't control you, they can't control their thoughts, and they can't control the future. The evaporation of control triggers panic. They feel cornered by their actions. The freedom they craved has revealed itself to be the ultimate cage. Now, there is nothing to push against. The fear is internal and all-consuming. The cool persona shatters. They are the desperate flailings of a drowning person. They are trying to make the panic stop. The loss is forever. The person who fears being trapped is now trapped by their own choices. The unbearable pressure of regret and panic inevitably leads to a turning point. The desperate urge to break the silence becomes an overwhelming compulsion. They must do something to re-establish a connection. The silence they once created has become the source of their greatest terror, and they feel they must shatter it. This urge is not a healthy epiphany, but a primal scream. They are reaching out because they need to soothe their own agony. Their reach out is a selfish act born of desperation. It is more likely to be a breadcrumb, a low-effort attempt to solicit a response. This moment is the ultimate test of your resolve. You must recognize this contact for what it is, a distress signal from a sinking ship. This is their turning point, not yours. So, to navigate this turning point without getting pulled back into their chaos, you really need to understand the secret mantra that's now playing on a loop in their mind. It's a mantra they would never admit to you, or even fully to themselves. But honestly, it governs their desperate actions. The mantra is this: I can't lose them, but I can't have them. This paradoxical statement is the very essence of their torment. It perfectly captures the internal war that's just ripping them apart. It's the key to understanding why their attempts to reconnect will be so confusing, hot and cold, and ultimately unsatisfying for you if you engage. I can't lose them is the voice of their panic and regret. It's the part of them that now recognizes your immense value. It's the terror of permanent loneliness. This part is desperate to keep you in their orbit. It needs to know you're still there, that the connection isn't dead, that they haven't made an irreversible, life-altering mistake. This is the part that drives the late-night texts, the nostalgic mentions, and the sudden interest in your life. It's a frantic attempt to stop the bleeding, to keep you tethered to them in some way, shape or form, and to avoid the finality of the loss at all costs. But this is immediately contradicted by the second half of the mantra, but I can't have them. This is the voice of their core wound, their deep-seated fear of intimacy and engulfment. It's the part of them that drove the breakup in the first place. Even as they reach out in panic, this fear is still lurking beneath the surface. If you were to respond with warmth and welcome them back with open arms, this fear would reactivate almost instantly. They'd feel the old pressure, the old suffocation, and they'd inevitably pull away again. They want the comfort of your presence without the perceived threat of your closeness. This mantra is the reason their behavior is so maddening. They'll pull you closer with a moment of seeming vulnerability, only to push you away the second they feel you getting too close. They want to end their loneliness, but they're not prepared to do the work to heal it. They're trapped in a purgatory of their own making, wanting what they pushed away but being terrified of it at the same time. Understanding this secret mantra, I can't lose them but I can't have them, is your shield. It allows you to see their actions not as a genuine offer of reconciliation, but as a symptom of their unresolved internal conflict. In the final stage of their spiral, the avoidant ex takes on a new role. They become a ghost at the feast of your life. They're present, but unseen. They're watching, but they can't participate. Through social media or mutual friends, they become spectators to your healing and growth. They see you celebrating birthdays, going on trips, achieving goals, and laughing with new people. Every image of your happiness and progress is, well, a confirmation of what they've lost. They're no longer a part of your world. They're haunting its edges, looking in from the cold, a silent witness to a life that moves on without them. This experience is, honestly, profoundly painful and humbling for them. They're confronted with the undeniable truth that your life did not end when they left. In fact, in many ways, it seems to have truly begun. You appear lighter, happier, and more yourself than you were when you were with them. This is a bitter pill to swallow. It forces them to confront the possibility that they weren't the prize they thought they were, but maybe the anchor that was holding you down. They're watching you thrive in the very space they created with their absence, and the irony is, well, crushing. This ghostly existence fuels their sense of regret and powerlessness. They're completely outside the narrative, with no ability to influence the plot. They can only watch. This passive observation is the opposite of the control they've always sought. They're haunted by what-ifs and should-haves. What if they had stayed? What if they had faced their fears? They see the life they could have had, but it's being lived without them. They're like a character written out of a show who is forced to watch the remaining seasons, seeing all the plot lines they're missing out on. It's a special kind of torment they've inflicted upon themselves. This is the ultimate turning point, not for them to come back, but for the power dynamic to be permanently settled. You are the one living a full, vibrant life in the present moment. They're the ones trapped in the past, endlessly replaying their mistakes and watching your future unfold from a distance. They chose to be a ghost in their own life by avoiding connection, and now they're a ghost in yours. Your continued silence and forward momentum aren't a punishment. They're simply the reality. You are the feast, and they are the ghost, forever on the outside looking in. Let us distill this down to its raw essence. The journey from heartbreak to power is built upon profound truths. Your first power move is embracing silence. It's a declaration of emotional sovereignty. The second is to relentlessly focus on your own healing and growth. Reconnect with friends, rediscover hobbies, and build a life that excites you. The third unbreakable move is understanding their panic for what it is, a symptom of their own internal chaos. Finally, internalize the truth that you were never the problem. Their demons are not yours. This clarity is your shield and sword. We have journeyed through the dark, twisting corridors of the avoidant mind. We have dissected the anatomy of their spiral from relief to regret, and from panic to the torment of watching your life from the outside. You now understand the psychological machinery at play. You have seen how your silence is not weakness, but an act of profound strength that flips the entire power dynamic. You hold the knowledge that their predictable crisis is not your responsibility to solve. Now, it is your turn to solidify this wisdom and join the thousands of others who are walking this same path from pain to power. This is where we come together as a community of warriors. In Part 5, we uncovered the secret mantra that echoes in the mind of the spiraling avoidant ex. It is the paradoxical thought that fuels their desperate hot and cold behavior. It is the key that unlocks a true understanding of their confusing actions. This mantra is your shield, protecting you from misinterpreting their panicked reach-outs as genuine attempts at reconciliation. It keeps you grounded in your own reality and safe from their chaos. It is the two opposing forces that are ripping them apart, and your understanding of it is what keeps you whole and centered. Now, I want you to claim this power. I want you to anchor this truth within yourself. In the comments below, I want you to write the secret mantra we revealed. Let's fill the comments section with this powerful reminder, creating a wall of collective wisdom that will serve as a fortress for anyone who finds this video feeling weak or tempted to break their silence. Let this be your declaration that you understand the game and you are choosing not to play. You are choosing your own peace. You are choosing your own power. You are choosing yourself, finally and completely. The very first person to comment with the mantra will get their comment pinned for all to see, a beacon for everyone else who joins this conversation. Sharing it does more than just prove you have been paying attention. It solidifies the concept in your own mind, making it a part of your emotional toolkit. So go ahead, share the mantra below. Let us know this has hit home. Let us know you are ready to become untouchable. Your voice matters, your journey is valid, and your strength is an inspiration. Let the world hear it. We have navigated the avoidance post-breakup spiral. This chapter is about you reclaiming your power. Your sovereignty is a conscious creation. Cultivate calm within your own heart, impervious to their turbulence. This clarity is your armor, protecting your healing heart. See their actions as a manifestation of their own fears. The power is no longer needing them to come back. This is true freedom. Their story becomes a footnote in yours, moving forward into a future defined by your own choices and self-respect. The greatest power move is to love yourself enough to walk away. Your silence was your key to liberation. Your path forward is about embodying the transformation you have earned. It is about becoming the one who got away. This is not a title bestowed out of bitterness. It is a factual description of your evolution. You are the one who escaped the cycle. This identity is a testament to your resilience, your dignity, and your profound capacity for self-love. You did not just leave, you ascended. This new identity informs every choice you make from this day forward. It raises your standards for what you will accept in your life. You value emotional availability and clear communication as non-negotiable requirements. The painful education you received has become your greatest asset, a powerful filter that protects your future peace. You have learned to cherish the beauty of calm. Let this journey be the foundation upon which you build your future relationships. You will attract what you are, and you have become a beacon of strength. The path forward is about creating a life so rich and fulfilling on your own terms. You have learned to be your own anchor. So walk forward with your head held high. You have weathered the storm and have not just survived. You have been reborn. You are the architect of your own happiness now. Build it on the unbreakable foundation of knowing your own worth. The path forward is bright, and it belongs entirely to you. You are, and always will be, the one who was brave enough to get away.